over the pretty good amount of that last night. And in the early evening, really came down hard. So it's pretty cool here. It's 57, breezy, and it's been kind of overcast, partly overcast all day. Not much sun getting out right now. Here it's 57. We'll see what happens later on. As the day goes on, the temperature is supposed to drop. And I think it goes to KG4IUQ. If that's not correct, please pardon my lack of paying attention. So hopefully that's right. This is WB4ARK.
Thank you very much, buddy. This is Mark, KG4IUQ in Shelby, North Carolina. I am running a Harvey Wells Bandmaster AF-68 with a carbon microphone. I'm using a multi-Elmac TMR8 receiver. And I have an 80-meter dipole up about 20 feet. And I'm using a linear amplifier and a Meritron 811H. My engine failed and I had to put it up right before this net. Working hard on doing that. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor WF2U. This is KG4IUQ.
Roger, KG4IUQ. And the net, this is Whiskey Foxtrot 10 uniform. Outside the San Flandrum. Greenville, South Carolina. And everybody's pretty strong except George was a little bit weaker, about 15 dB over the noise level. The S-meter here is not an S-meter, it's a carrier level over noise, or actually from 0 to 120 dB. So the difference between the noise level and your signal, George, was 15 dB. Which is more than enough to have a nice 100% copy. Everybody else is anywhere between 30 and 60 dB over the noise level. Running the military AM/GRC 19 setup, which consists of the T195 transmitter and the R392 receiver designed by Collins. The antenna is an end-fed half wave for 80 meters. So we had almost the same temperature since the morning. We got up about 6:30, it was 51 degrees, and right now I think it's the highest of the day, it's 54 degrees, and altogether since yesterday, including until about 3 a.m. when it was still raining, we got 1.3 inches of rain according to our digital weather station. So with that, it goes to John, K1BBC, this is WF2U.
Yeah, thanks for letting me at WF2U, K1BBC, and to the new people, my name's John, and I'm located in Greer, South Carolina. And today I'm running Johnson Viking 500 and receiving a national HRO 60. It's been a nice day all around. We had about an inch of rain the past couple of days. not quite as precise as Buddy on the rainfall, that's for sure. Cliff, how you doing? WB4NKL, K1VVC.
K1VVC, WB4NKL. Doing good, John. Name here is Cliff for the newcomers, and located in Limestone, Tennessee. Running a DX100B Heathkit today. Calling 75S3 receiver into a Powell Star tuner and a 160 meter dipole fed with ladder line. It's been about 36 degrees here all day, looks like, and continues on. It's been raining just slightly on the warm side to be snowing, so I'm thankful for that. I'd rather have the rain. And send it on to that's Tommy, KB4PSI. He's a cousin of mine, recently upgraded. So welcome to the old friends net, Tommy. KB4PSI, it's WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, KB4PSI. Good evening, Cliff, and thanks for welcoming me on the net. Everybody sounds good. I'm in Greenville, Tennessee, and first time. I've listened to you guys a lot, but finally went ahead and upgraded, and here I am. So sounds like a good bunch in here today. But I've got about the same temperature the Cliff does, pouring the rain down, and looks like we're soft in today. But anyway, I'm not sure who to turn it to, so I'll turn it back to net control. Dave, WA4LLR. Dave, go ahead and pick it up. And good evening to you, KB4PSI.
All right, Tommy, and congratulations on the upgrade. It goes to K4QE. So, Tony, go ahead and pick it up.
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. I can hear just about everyone. There's only one or two that I had trouble with. But welcome aboard, Tommy. Glad to hear you. And the gentleman to whom I'm passing it to, I couldn't quite hear him. I believe the call was Alpha Alpha 4 Alpha India. Looked him up on QRZ. I see his name is Robert. I'm not sure if he goes by Bob or Rob or Robert or what. So forgive me if I don't address you correctly. But weather here is about 54 degrees and partly cloudy. No rain here, at least not this afternoon. The sun is up and shining away. And I'm running an ICOM 7851 into a Mercury Lux Linear into an 80-meter inverted V. And I'm using a PR781 microphone with this big box. And running about 250 watts of carrier. So anyway, everyone sounded good, and I will pass it along to Bob, AA4AI from K4QE.
AA4AI, pick it up, WA4LR.
Okay, this is AA4AI, Alpha Alpha 4 Alpha India. And I could not copy the station that came prior to me. Steve, N4LQ, invited me to check in here, but I can see where I'm perhaps on the outside edge of stations that can copy everyone, fairly consistently. Anyway, my name is Bob, and I'm located in Watkinsville, Georgia. That's Watkinsville, Georgia, a little bit south of Athens. 48 degrees here, and kind of dark and a little bit blustery, a little bit windy. I'm using a Viking 2 here and a National HRO 50. So I believe the next station, if I'm looking at the list, is W1NZR. So over there to you, this is AA4AI.
Okay, I think it was turned over to me. W1NZR. Let me make sure I have it. Okay. Alpha Alpha 4 Alpha India. And the group, this is W1NZR. I've really had trouble copying AA4AI, unfortunately. My name is Brown. I'm in, the address is Battleboro, but I really live in Red Oak over here in northeastern North Carolina. Very good afternoon to all. Running a T368 this afternoon. And listening on an R725. And conditions are quite nice. Dave, thank you very much for running the net. You've got a nice signal here, but Steve, N4LQ, is hurting my radio. You're just pounding in here, Steve, nearly pinning the carrier level meter. But conditions are good. And Tony is a close second. Good afternoon to you. So, pleasure to be here. And Tommy, KB4PSI, welcome, congratulations. I just upgraded myself. I upgraded. I didn't do it myself, but... and it only took me 50 years. So, congratulations and welcome. This is a wonderful group of fellows. They're very, very congenial. Hey, they even let me in. Unbelievable. Okay, it goes over to K4JAL and the old Friends Net from W1NZR. Go ahead.
W1ZR K4JAL. Well, I'm running the old standard college 32V2 and 75A4 and a much maligned antenna I won't call the name of. Anyway, I hope I'm getting out. Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. Got so many new people in here, I'm going to have to start coming back. I've heard 4 or 5 new call signs today, which is good. Let's see. I'll give it over to Alan. N4OZI K4JAL. Over to you.
I think that's N4PFI. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is WN4PFI, Whiskey Nancy 4. Papa Foxtrot India. This is Doak, Delta Oscar Alpha Kilo. In Suches, Georgia, it is 34 degrees. It's been 34 degrees all day. We got something falling from the sky. It's not raining, it's not snow, so it must be some type of ice. Bob, down in Watkinsville. I used to work in Statham, so I know where Watkinsville is. I'm up in Suches, just west of the Blood and Slaughter Mountains here. Glenn's not on here today, but he would know. He would certainly know where those are. I'm just west of those. It doesn't give me a lot of propagation to the east. I'm about three miles, I guess, from those 2 mountains, some of the highest mountains here in Georgia. And for those that are new, I'm running what I always run, a DX60 into a Warrior amplifier with about almost 300 watts on voice peaks, and the receiver is a Drake 2A. Antenna is a flat top fed with open wire ladder line at about 40 feet into a Dentron super tuner. So, James, thank you for handing it to me. I'm going to send it on, I think, to Tom, WA4FJQ is up in High Point. Tom, I don't know if you're copying me. I'm not copying you. But if you hear me, go ahead and take it. And Dave, you might have to pick it up. WA4FJQ, this is WN4PFI.
WA4FJQ, Tom, pick it up. WA4LR.
N4PFI, this is WA4FJQ. Okay, thanks, Steve, for helping me out with that. I'm not copying, but 3 or 4 stations today. I don't know what's going on. I think I may have an antenna problem. I had problems tuning it up, and I'm just not copying many people. I can hear them in there, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to turn it over to Stan. And Stan, give me a signal report if you can even hear me at all. If you don't hear me, then I'll just sign out and try to listen a little bit. So, anyway, turning it over to W4KR. This is WA4FJQ. Over.
WA4FJQ, W4KR. No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine over here. For the new guys, welcome aboard. My name is Stan, and I'm located northwest of Walhalla, South Carolina, which is about 25 miles south of Highlands, North Carolina, and about 25 miles east of Clayton, Georgia. Hey, up in the far northwest corner. In fact, it's about the largest town up here in the corner. Let's see. As I said before, copying everybody, even George. George, good afternoon to you. I'll mention you because you're the furthest away. You're making it all the way out here to the Georgia South Carolina border. So hang in there. Lee and Chuck, I don't know if either one of them are here today, or Lee or Charlie rather. We might want to think about this time in the wintertime. It's a little bit, maybe just a little bit too early. But anyway, receiver is a Collins 75A4. Transmitters is a Viking Valiant, putting out about 125 watts, and the antenna is a coax-fed, homemade coax-fed dipole. With that, David, my friend, back to you. Here it comes. Oh, weather. Temperature's about 42, and it was real nice earlier in the day, but it's getting kind of cold and a little blustery. WA4LLR, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, W4KR, WA4LR. Yeah, Charlie's got a birthday party, and I don't know about Lee. Let me take a quick standby and see if we have others that are ready to come in. Any other stations, come now. All right, I guess we've got the crop. Let's see here. Steve's got clear sky down in the city of Pleasant Living. George, the Ranger 2 sounds good. I've heard you stronger, but 100% copy. And Buddy's got 57 degrees. Mark, the Harvey Wells, when you drive that mic, it sounds good. If you get back away from it much, it gets kind of quiet. But when you're in that microphone, it sounds good. Mir, the 195 sounds really good. And John, of course, the Johnson 500 is doing a great job, and Cliff, the DX100B, sounds wonderful. And Tommy, I apologize for not recognizing your call right off the bat. I've worked you several times before, but again, congratulations and welcome to the Old Friends Net. Sunny down where you are, Tony. And Bob in Watkinsville, Georgia. Your Viking 2's working just fine. Let me ask you a question when it comes back around to you. I've got a good friend also named Bob, actually goes by Bobby in Watkinsville, and his call is KC4DOG. And his wife call is KC4PIG. Oh my goodness, but I wonder if you might know Bobby down there in Watkinsville. Brown, T368 sounds good. Jimmy, I like that 32V2. That's doing a good job for you. And Dope, you've got one of the best sounding DX60s I've heard. Tom, you're sounding good here, so there's no issues. And Steve, the Valiant, sounds fine. Well, all the much lauded solar storms never materialized, so they've changed the forecast now and said no storms. We'll probably get one now. But things are pretty quiet. Sunspot count's 52. Solar flux index is 148, and the K index is 1.67. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1915, the Germans sank the United States ship William Fry off Brazil, and there was a lot of discussion about that, and they swore they'd never do it again. Of course they did, and eventually we got into World War I with them. On this day in 1964, the Soviets shot down one of our jets that had strayed a bit into East Germany. And we said it was because it got caught in a storm, but we don't know. On this day in 1986, most of us can remember where we were and what we were doing when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded 73 seconds after liftoff. On this day in 1936, Alan Alda was born. Any MASH fans know Alan. On this day in 1958, the patent was filed for Lego by Gottfried Christensen in Denmark. And on this day in 1915, Congress created the U.S. Coast Guard. And there's not much more than that of great interest, so we'll start back around. N4LQ, WA4LR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Very impressive. Well, let's see. I forgot to mention my rig. I'm using a Elmac AF-68. I don't know where the Valiant came from, Dave, but that's what I'm using. AF-68 driving an AL-82 amplifier, and new microphone today. And an HQ-110 I'm listening on. Everybody, absolutely everybody, just coming through beautifully here. And, you know, if you don't copy somebody, don't let it bother you, because especially Bob down there, don't worry about that, because if you notice, a lot of people are having trouble hearing each other, so that's pretty common. I think I'm kind of in the middle of things here. Maybe that helps. But anyway, new microphone today. This is an Aesthetic D104M6B, which is a handheld mobile microphone made by Aesthetic, what's left of the company. And I got some history here of the Aesthetic company. It was formed in 1931 by two hams, W8WR and W8AHW, whose last name was Woolworth. Those two hams invented or developed or whatever the first commercial crystal microphone, and they came up with the name Aesthetic because take the A, that means in, I think it's probably Latin, the prefix A means not or without, and static is, of course you know what static is, and a lot of microphones back in those days were noted for having static, like carbon and ribbon mics. So apparently they used the astatic to mean not static or without static. Okay, that's enough of that. I did a mod on this mic. I did change the value of a resistor on the input to the amplifier, and it's a different amplifier than the standard D104. It uses 1 FET, and it had a very low value, and I increased the value, and it gave it some more bass. Maybe too much, I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Everybody else is sounding fine. Mark, yeah, your audio is down really, really low. I had to turn the volume up, so you're going to have to really shout into that mic, like Dave was saying there. And Bob, the Viking 2 sounds great. Keep it up. And Tom FJQ, you were extremely strong and loud here. So go ahead, Myrtle Beach, George, K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the groups, K4GDN. And the microphone sounds good, Steve. I don't think you should change anything on it. And kind of strange, the weather down here in Myrtle Beach is warm, but they say it's going to get colder. And looking at what I'm running here today, I'm running a pair of 811s. Looks like I'm running about let's see, about 280 watts input, putting about 200 mils of plate current in them, and getting out about 175 watts carrier, which means I'm dissipating about 105, but I'm sitting here looking at tubes and they're just fine, no problems at all. So that's pretty good. This is a homebrew 811, and it has real 811s in it. I'm copying most of everybody pretty well. There are some, the QSB is getting them. Stan, the QSB was pretty bad, and Bob, AA4AI. But other than that, I'm copying everybody pretty well here today. I'm going to say 73 on this round. So I'll probably listen a little bit. I've got some things I've got to get done here this afternoon. So enjoyed it, and Dave, thanks for calling in. I really like the way you do, the way you go through and give everybody a signal report. That's really pretty helpful, I think. So with that, I'll pass it on to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group, K4GDN. 73, guys.
K4GDN, WB4ARK. Okay, George, very good copy this afternoon, as with most of the stations that are on today. And Bob, WA4FJQ, you got a very good signal into Lake Wiley, South Carolina. And so I'll give my radio stats here. I'm running a ART-13, a R390A, horizontal dipole up about 60 feet, and using a homemade matchbox. So the sun keeps trying to come out. It looks like it's out pretty strong right now. We got, like I said, 57 degrees. It's rather breezy out, and otherwise a very nice day with the sun coming and going through the clouds. If I did mention the rainfall, I think I got it right. I made a mistake earlier when I told my wife how much we had. I told her it was 1.19, and it was actually 2.19, in case I goofed up and said the wrong thing a little while ago. It's 2.19 inches. And so that's about it for, and I'm located just south of Charlotte in Lake Wiley, South Carolina. So just over the line. So with that, I guess I'll say thanks, Dave, for doing the net today, and I hope to be here on the next round. I may not be, so if I'm not, just pass on over. KG4IUQ, WB4ARK.
Thank you very much, buddy. This is Mark, KG4IUQ. Dave, LLR. I hear you saying that if I talk strongly into the microphone, you get more modulation. It sounds better. Trying to do that. I'm aware that there is some kind of amplifier or circuit that can be added to this TBS-50C to use something other than a carbon mic. So right now I'm using this, and I'm very happy to have this radio. It was given to me by a very good friend, Gordon Baker of Dandridge, Tennessee, AG4WH. sent this to me in the mail, and I've been happy that I have been able to get it to run. I'm going to continue working on it. Steve, your setup is sounding good. George, GDN in Myrtle Beach, you're sounding good. Buddy, ARK, you always sounding good there. And I think you said ART13 and an R390A. Your signal is good here. And Mayor, WF2U, you're sounding good with the T195. John, K1VVC, clear sound. I really think that you know a lot about this stuff because your sound is always good and clear. Cliff, WB4NKL, you're sounding good. Tommy, KB4PSI, I understand you've had an upgrade, and congratulations on that. K4QE with the Icon 7851, you're sounding good. And Bob, AA4AI, with the Viking 2, it sounds good. W1NZR, you sound good here. And Jimmy, K4JAL, you said you were hoping you're getting out. You're getting out here to Shelby. And Doke, WN4PFI, in Dutchess with the DX60, you sounding good here. WA4FJQ, you sound good. And I think that, I made a mistake. I couldn't remember who it is, but I think it's WA4FJQ with a Viking Valley transmitter. And if I'm making a mistake and it's not your call sign, I am sorry. But I got mixed up there. Been working on trying to get a VF1 VFO to run. With the power supply that I have, to test it, see if it runs, and kind of a challenge. You know, this stuff is challenging. Takes a lot of work, a lot of time. Not a simple thing, but I enjoy it. I'm going to turn it over now to, let's see, who is next? It is WF2U, Mayor. It's KG4IUQ.
Yeah, Roger, Mark. KG4IUQ and the net. This is WF2U. Yeah, good copy on everyone. Mark, you just have a little QSB on you. Most stations are coming in with relatively steady signal. And let's see, Brown, also good to hear you. And welcome, Tommy, KB4PFI, you sound good. Nice and strong also. I'm not going to give individual reports. Let's see, Tommy, let's see, yeah, it's Tommy, and Tony, you sound good too, and Bob A4AI, welcome to the net. I'm familiar with Watkinsville. I go there maybe a couple of times a year to Woods End Farm for herding trials with my dogs. And I usually stay in Athens in a motel. But I'm definitely familiar with Watkinsville. I'm near Landrum, South Carolina. And your station is doing a great job in Viking 2. Jimmy, you are booming in. I don't think I ever heard you this strong, K4JAL. I never heard you this strong, so your 32V2 is doing a great job. Doak, you also pretty strong here. DX60 is doing a great job, and Stan, your signal is also great. As usual, a little QSB on you. Interesting because we are relatively close. And Tom, WA4FJQ, you are booming in here. I think you are just as strong as Dave, and maybe even a little bit stronger. Your signal is booming in, so I hope you copy. All right, so who does it go? Oh, John. Okay, your signal is pretty good also. Sometimes if the bend is a little longer, you're a little less on the S meter, but basically you're also about 60-65 dB over the noise level, according to the meter here. K1VVC, this is WF to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mia. Good signal here. Everybody's coming through fine, and nice to have a group. Only, where's Lee K4VWD? I'm going to try and give him a call in a few minutes, see if I can get hold of him, but I haven't heard anything. Maybe something happened. He wasn't around on Thursday. Maybe you could let me know, Steve, if you've heard anything. Anyhow, doing fine here. The lunch is this Thursday. It's February 1st. Charlie is usually the one that reminds everybody, and Lee, but I'm going to remind everybody also that the Golden Corral in Spartanburg. So everybody who's around, please try and attend. We've been having really good turnout lately. And a couple of things I'm going to be selling. Well, I'm going to bring it. I sent a little email out. I have a Hallicrafters S40A that's in pretty good condition that I'm going to bring to the luncheon. The only modifications is an S-Me to put into the speaker grill. If anybody wants a basic Hallicrafters S40A for $30, it'll be in the back of my car. And I'm also going to be selling a big Ameritron AL1200 amplifier pretty soon. I think Steve used to call that Big Al. Oh, anyhow, over to you, Cliff, and hope you're wearing out the soles in your shoes. WB4NKL, K1VVC.
K1VVC, WB4NKL. I've been doing pretty good walking until today, and it's rained all day, so don't have many steps in. But I've got that old treadmill in the basement, but I sure do hate to get on it. But might have to look into that here in a little while. Mark, your audio was good that time. You was up in the mic and had plenty of modulation, but did have the carbon sound to it. I wonder if you've tried just running I don't know if it'd drive it or not, but you might try just a power mic feeding into it. Might have enough drive for it, and D104 with the preamp turned all the way up. It might be worth a try. And let's see, I'm getting ready for the Orlando Ham Fest coming up. Well, be home or be out over here in 2 weeks. So, but we're heading to Florida there the first of that week. So that's a week from Monday. We're going to head down. Looking forward to that. Hope we get some good weather down that way. And looking forward to seeing Brown and some other guys that's maybe planning on coming down. Let's see. I guess Steve, the M6B D104 sounds great. You said you increased the value of that resistor. I didn't copy what you went up to. I think it's a 1 meg. I guess you went up on higher with it. But it sounds great. It's good to know that we've still got a choice on microphones that we can buy, affordable mics. When we drop one of these D104s and tear the crystal up, it's good to know we got some kind of replacement available. So send it on around. Go ahead, Tommy. KB4 PSI. It's WB4 NKL.
Okay, Cliff. KB4 PSI. Well, first I want to thank everybody for recognizing my upgrade, and I appreciate that. It was a lot of work. It don't come easy, but I'm glad I done it. Got a good bunch of guys in here, and look forward to talking to all of you maybe at one time. But I didn't mention what rig I'm on. I'm running an ICOM 756 Pro 3 into a Drake L4B amplifier and a Drake MN2000 tuner. So that's the rig here for now. I've got an Apache and a Johnson Valiant that I also crank up, and an R390. So I'll be back over on the tube stuff before long. But Steve, that microphone, yes, I believe you nailed it. Sounds great. I can't tell it from your original D104. And I'm running an external speaker that came with the ICOM, and it's got some filters in it. But anyway, it sounds good, Steve. I'd lock that one down. Okay, Dave, I'm going to turn it back to you. I'm not sure. I need to write down these calls to see who's after me, but WA4LLR, KB4 PSI.
Okay. Goes down to Tony, K4QE.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Tommy, again, congratulations on your upgrade. I think I failed to mention that during my last transmission. So my kudos to you for the upgrade. I've been licensed for 45 years this coming April, and I went from novice all the way up through the ranks up to extra, and it's certainly worth it. I'm glad I did it when I did it. I didn't quite move as fast as I would have liked. I got my novice, and then I got my tech not long afterward. That's back when, years and years ago, when the only thing that techs could use phone on was 50 megahertz and up. And of course we inherited the novice CW privileges. And then I got my general not long after that, and I had taken my advanced test even though I was not ready for it, and I didn't pass it. And it was several years later before I finally decided to study hard and get the advanced class. And then a few years later, I went and got my extra. So it certainly was a worthwhile ride, and been enjoying this hobby for a lot of years. Made a lot of friends over the years, and glad to make more. So glad to add you to the list. All right, and what else I want to say? So this morning I got up a little on the late side, but that's okay because I had to work yesterday, and made breakfast for the family. Made homemade pancakes with some sausage links and a bunch of cheese-loaded scrambled eggs. So there you go. Ate good this morning, that's for sure. All right, over to you, Bob. AA4AI, another new one on the list. This is K4QE. Go ahead.
All right. K4QE. This is AA4AI. Well, your signal came up there, and I was able to copy. You started off pretty strong, and then it went to about 50 or 60%. But it's an improvement as the sun goes down. I'm checking my frequency here on the frequency counter. It seems like I'm fairly close. KC4DOG, I remember him as KC4ERJ many years ago, Bobby. I haven't spoken to him probably in 2 decades. Back when 2 meters, was like was real popular everywhere, and we converse during the day as we're doing various things. I used to talk to him from time to time, but I hadn't talked to him in a long time. And let's see, Mir, you mentioned Woods End Farm. I was not familiar with that, so I looked it up on Google Maps, and I can see where it is and all that. So that's pretty interesting that you bring your dogs or dog down there for herding. Pretty interesting stuff there. There's a dog across the street from us who is probably bored to death, and she's out in the yard all day barking, and she's gotten where she herds the cars that drive by. She runs along the chain link fence and stops when the fence prevents her from going any further. But there are some dogs that just have to be constantly moving and herding something, whether it's cars or sheep or cattle or whatever. Thank you for the reports on the transmitter here. And I'm glad that it's functioning, and I'm looking at all the other projects that I've got here since I am semi-retired. I just have a whole variety of things that I can tackle. Maybe next I'll tackle a Yaesu FRG 7700 receiver that doesn't receive it. Each band position just stops on a fixed frequency. I've done some research on it and may get into that soon. So, over to W1NZR, which I had very weak copy on, but anyway, that's the next one in line. This is AA4AI. Over to you, sir.
Okay, Bob. Very, very good. AA4 Alpha India and the old friends in that W1NZR returning. Well, propagation is changing a bit. Bob, you came up that time and copied everything. Not particularly strong here, but conditions are such that the noise level is down. And Mir, you came up as well on that one. And I'm pretty sure you're running your T195 today. It sounds very, very good. Wonder if I'm making an assumption listening to it that you have bypassed the Clipper limiter circuit. So that's sounding very good. Steve, thank you very much for the ecstatic, astatic story. Very interesting, especially when we hear about these things that we've been using for most of our ham lives and haven't really understood how they started. So I appreciate that. You're still booming in here. And George, your signal came up. You were quite copyable first round, but you're doing a much better job in the northeastern North Carolina now. And Buddy, the ART-13 doing a great job here. Very, very nice signal. In fact, I wouldn't guess you're using an ART-13. It's sounding so good. Not the sound, but the signal level is way up, so it's very good. Mark, you did a much better job getting on the mic this past time and copied you very, very nicely. So it does make a difference. And the old Harvey Wells, great to hear one of those on. John, your Johnson 500, you're competing with Steve and Tony. Actually, I think Tony's the channel master. Although Dave, you were doing quite well also. And I didn't catch Dave. I'm guessing you're on your ART-13. Perhaps not, but it sounds good. And Tom, FJQ, you're also booming into northeastern North Carolina. So not sure what your receive problem is, but on the transmit end of it, you're doing very well, as are you, Stan. So let's see, not that much more from here. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the WX here. I have right now about 53, 54 degrees. It's overcast since late morning. Did have some sun earlier, but not unpleasant. No precipitation. So anyway, with that, I'll bid all of you fellows a fine afternoon. Dave, thank you very, very much for running the net, and I'll be listening out. So it goes down to Ginny, K4JAL, and the old friends net from W1NZR. Go ahead.
W1Z R. W1ZR. Okay, K4JAL. Well, I'm hearing most people pretty good. We're getting some QSB. I don't have the best antenna in the world, so that accounts for that. It's interesting about the word aesthetic. I thought it was a play off of aesthetic because it is a beautiful microphone, but there's always an actual reason for everything, I assume. I've been burning some solder today and trying to figure out tiny little circuits, and I guess my brain is burned. Dave, if I get this wrong, correct me. W4PFI, K4JAL, 73, but listening.
Okay, Jimmy, K4JAL, this is WN4PFI in Sussex, Georgia. My grandfather used to worry about me when I was a boy and did some soldering that I was going to ruin either my brain or the rest of my life by smelling too much solder smoke. So, Jimmy, you might want to be careful there. I didn't pay much attention to my grandfather, but that's what he believed.
I think he needs an aesthetic.
You had a problem, I believe.
Fizzed out.
Okay. All right, check in. We'll grab you here in just a second. Doak, are you back? I guess it went. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let these last two guys go, and then we'll grab the check-in. Go ahead, Tom. WA4FJQ, WA4LR.
WA4LLR and WA4FJQ. Okay, thanks, Dave. Yeah, Doak just disappeared. I couldn't hear anything but just a lot of static. Everybody I can copy fairly well. Brown up in northeast of us here, pin the S meter. Everybody else is kind of up and down QRM. I turned off an air cleaner behind me, and it dropped the noise a little bit. At least I thought it was. The problem was receiving. It sounds like I'm getting out okay. Buddy, thanks for the signal report down in the Lake Wiley. It's my problem today is on the receive side, just an enormous amount of noise and QRM, QSB, everything else. Anyway, that's enough of that. We'll say 73s. Dave, thanks for calling the net, and congratulations to Tom, KB4PFI. So we'll say 73s and check out and turn it over to W4KR Stan, WA4FJQ, over.
W4FJQ, W4KR. Okay, real good. Copy everybody again this time around, just like last time. Tommy, I forgot to Doak started out, and by the way, sounds like Doak's going to be burning some more solder there. Sounds like a connection went nuts on him there. Anyway, Tommy, congrats. It's evident, Tommy, listening to you. You know what you're doing in this hobby, no question. And welcome to the low end of the band. As you were talking about that before, I was thinking back just about 100 years ago now when I got my novice ticket. I grew up in Detroit, and had my novice ticket for about 9 months. Had to go to the FCC office in the federal building in downtown Detroit. And about 9 months later, I went back and took my general to do technician up there at that time because Detroit. One of its TV stations were on Channel 2. Nobody operated 6 meters up there. We were all on 160. Didn't do 2 meters. That first CBS station, Channel 2 in Detroit, was had a 100-foot tower on top of a 3-story Masonic Temple building in downtown Detroit. And they put out a very snowy signal. So TV sets TV sets weren't too discriminating at that point. But anyway, like I say, about 9 months after starting, I got my general ticket, and then a few years later got did get the advanced ticket, got the advanced and the general at the same time, and then went back a few years later and got the extra, and that's been it. All those were at the FCC office, same FCC office with the same grumpy engineers that worked there that I guess were pretty well standard around the country. I know I've heard tales about the goings-on in Atlanta, and they were that place apparently was run by tyrants also. With that, I'm going to say 7-3s. I'm going to sign with this one, Dave. I don't know if you're going to do a 73 round or not, but I'm going to have to skedaddle, get upstairs, and give Joan a hand with dinner. With that, good afternoon, everybody. Lord willing, we'll see you all Tuesday morning. WA4LLR, W4KR, 7-3, everybody.
All right, Stan, fine business. Okay, who was the check-in?
Hi, everyone. Who's left there? This is 85SX here in Fort Lawn, South Carolina. Roger.
85SX, and I believe there was another station. Was there another check-in? Well, I'm hearing a carrier with no audio. Good carrier, but no audio. 85SX, go ahead and make a transmission, and we'll see if we can pick up the other guy. WA4LR.
Okay, very good. Let's see, WA4LLR, I believe it is. Hi, Dave, and the rest of the group out there. Sorry I'm late. I missed the whole week here. We had real bad weather, and Tuesday morning we went grocery shopping. And that was a new experience. It has been every time we go now because it's so convenient from the last 22 years when we were living in New Mexico. So anyway, I know I'm late here, so I don't want to take it up. I'll stick around for the 73 round. And thanks so much for picking me up there, Dave. And I'll stand by for the 73 round, WA4LLR, 85SX. Over.
All right, Paul, fine business. Glad you made it in. Okay, was the other person able to get some audio? Come now. All right, Dope, did you get back? Okay, I'm guessing not. Okay, let's see. 73 to George, 73 to Brown, and Brown, I'm running the BC610C, not the ART13. 73 to Jimmy. 73 to Tom, 73 to Stan. We will do a quick 73 round if you would like to do it. So, Steve, you'll turn it to Buddy if he's there, and if not, down to Mark. And Bob in Watkinsville, thank you for telling me about Bobby. You will turn it to Dope, WN4PFI, if he is there, and if not, 85SX can pick it up. N4LQ, WA4LR.
Bravo, breaking.
Oh my goodness. There's John. All right, John, we're gonna put you down here after Paul. So go ahead, Steve.
Okay. There he is. Okay, it's N4LQ. I'm not going to take up any time here. I'll just say thanks everybody for checking in. 73s, and have a great day. I think you said it still goes to Buddy. Go ahead, Buddy, N4LQ. Goes to Mark.
Thank you. 73, everybody. You have a good evening. And I'm going to turn it over, I guess, to Mayor, WF2.
KD4IU2 on the net, WF2U. Yeah, thank you, Dave, for running the net. And thanks, actually, to all the new faces, so to speak, here. And it was a pleasure. The more the merrier, and especially with good signals. And AM, it's a nice net. So just one comment to Bob, AA4AI. Yeah, at Woods End I go for herding competitions. I train up here, and you're right. A lot of herding dogs really need a job for some sort, as long as they can do something. Not necessarily even herding if they can't do it. I mean, if it's not possible as far as the owner's time and whatever, but they definitely need some work. Anyway, 73 all, and it was great to hear everybody. And with that, it goes to John. This is K1 VVC. This is WFTU 73 all.
Yeah, very good, Mayor. WF2U and the group K1 VVC. It's been fun as always, and hope to see everybody at the lunch on Thursday, or whoever's in the area can make it. I think Cliff's still here, so I'll turn it to him. WB4NKL, K1 VVC.
VC's WB4NKL. I'd like to make the luncheon again. We'll have to talk to Chuck and see if we can't this month. I've got a dentist appointment actually on Thursday, so I guess everything's out. 73s, thanks for calling it, Dave, and we'll try to catch everybody Tuesday. So go ahead, Tommy. KB4PSI, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff. KB4PSI. Yes, thanks everybody for letting me join in here today. This has really been good. Everybody sounds great up here in Greenville, Tennessee. So take care, stay warm. And let's see, I think I turned over to Walter, K4QE, KB4PSI.
Okay, very good. Oh boy. All right. Gotta get my list here. Good to hear everyone this afternoon. Signal did come up during the last round. I was able to hear everybody, and that's always good. And Brown, I venture to guess that the reason why you hear me so well is that I'm closest to you compared to everybody else on this list. So I guess that's no great accomplishment on my part, but I'm glad you're hearing me well. You're certainly loud here. And again, glad to hear everyone, and looking forward to hearing everybody on the net next week. So 73 to everyone, and over to you, Bob, AA4AI from K4QE.
Yeah, K4QE. Walter, thank you. Thank you for to Steve and for LQ for the invite to the net. Thank you, Dave, for running it, and all the others that are part of the group here. Good to meet everybody. 73 to all. Over to you, Brown, W1NZR. This is AA4AI.
I think Brown left and Jimmy left. Let's see if Doak made it back. WN4PFI, WA4LR.
Well, it's been a fun afternoon. Fun net. Thank you very much. And Dave, BC610 sounds wonderful. And yeah, I thought that you sounded a little too good for, or a little too powerful for an ART-13. So glad to hear that machine on the air. Good afternoon, all. 73. And it goes down to Jimmy, K4JAL from W1NZR. Go ahead.
I think he did leave. So, I apologize, Brown. I got on you a little bit there at the first. I thought you had left too. But thank you for the report on the 610C. Doak, did you make it back? WN4PFI, WA4LR. Nope, doesn't sound good. Let's see, Tom left, Stan left, Paul, 84SX, WA4LR.
Yeah, Roger, okay, thanks a lot. Good to hear everyone, and I'm sorry I got in here late. Been working on a weather station all afternoon, and church stuff in the morning there, but so everyone's sounding good there, and I look forward to Tuesday. I might just have to get in here real quick because that's our shopping day for food, but we'll see what happens. 73 to all of you, and God bless all of you and your families, and we'll hopefully make it to see you Tuesday morning. I'll hand it over to you, Dave, because I'm not sure who else is out there, and thanks for letting me get in here, Dave. W84LLR 85SX.
All right, Paul 73. Goes down to our late check-in. KZ4B, WA4LR.
Okay, Dave, WA4LLR in the group. This is KZ4 Bravo. Fine business. Operator error. If you leave the transmitter in the tune position, it doesn't do much in the way of talking. A lot of good conditions today, especially as the day wears on, but a lot of QS Baker and local QR Mary. Wanted to make a couple of comments. I finally got a frequency counter working. It's a MFJ 266. It was an antenna analyzer that can also be a frequency counter, and I think it was a sort of a Chinese knockoff of the their 269 series, but it has a nice vernier on the frequency control, which doesn't have anything to do with the frequency counter, but it is good when you're trying to put out a signal on a particular frequency. And knock on wood, that is counting the frequency, and I've had a lot of trouble trying to do that in order to help me set the VFO. And shifting gears, I wanted to thank Steve for the feedback on the audio and all the testing help to get the frequency shift out of this audio signal. And hopefully it's that way today and it's consistent. I had a question. The Cliff WB4NKL commented, I got in late so I didn't hear everybody, commented about an MGB element to go, mic element to go in a D104 mic. Before you sign off, Dave, if you could sort of relay the particulars, is that a crystal element? Is it dynamic? What is it? And it sounded like it might be a replacement for a D104. I'd like to know more, especially how to get a hold of one if they're still commercially available. And I did want to comment on shifting gears again. I think it's Mark, KG4IUQ, with the carbon mic. It's a very good sounding carbon mic, as carbon mics go. And that's all I've got. Thanks for calling the net, Dave. I won't string it out any further. And is it this Thursday that's the first Thursday in the new month? I hadn't looked at the calendar. WA4LLR in the group, KZ4, be clear but listening.
Okay, John, fine. Yes, this Thursday is February the 1st, and it is the luncheon. Cliff and Steve were talking about the mic, and it's not a replacement element. It's a static mobile mic that's still available. Steve, you want to give him the particulars?
Oh, it's just the static mobile mic D104 M as in Mary 6, and there's a B on the end, which means black. That's the color of the mic. That's all there is to it. No, it's not a replacement for anything. Go ahead.
Is that a crystal element or is it dynamic? Over.
It's a ceramic element, I am told.
And who sells it?
It's an aesthetic product.
Aesthetic was dead.
Nope, they're owned by another company. So just do a search for Aesthetic D104 M6B.
It's KZ4B gone.
Okay, fine business. Any final comments before we close the net? All right, gentlemen, thank you for your participation today. Tony, after listening to your breakfast menu, I plan on coming to your restaurant. Bob, good luck on your AC repair, and John, glad you got a frequency counter working. So, folks, enjoyed it this afternoon. 7-3, God bless. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Lord willing, we'll catch up with you Tuesday morning. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, closing this session of the Old Friends Net. 7-3.
You're always welcome at the Scandora Restaurant, Dave and your bride. K4QE.
Roger, roger.
Thanks, Dave.